All right, welcome back to Bayou Time. As mentioned now, a very important topic. It's something that really needs to be discussed, but also is going to be a memorial run and walk, and it's the Raymond Bourg Lindsey Fontenot Memorial Run and Walk presented by ADAC. And joining us now are several members helping put on this, and we'll introduce everybody to you. Starting on the left side of your screen is Miss Alicia Toups. She's the ADAC Executive Director. Seated next to her is Miss Ava Fontenot, and she is Lindsey's mom. And next to her is Mike Fontenot. Mr. Mike is Lindsey's dad. And all the way on the end there, last but not least, Mr. Roy Bourg, and he is the father of Raymond. And we want to thank you all for joining us tonight to discuss this very, very important topic with us.
Thank you.
Sure. Let's start with you, Mr. Roy. What can you tell us? Just tell us in general about the Raymond Bourg and Lindsey Fontenot Memorial Walk and Run. And I see you have a bumper sticker. If you want to hold that up for the camera, that'll be fine as you're talking.
Okay. Basically what we're doing is we're trying to put the word out to make people aware of the dangers of drinking and driving. This is something that affects hundreds and hundreds of families every day. Right. We just want to put the word out there so people can realize how many lives this really impacts and how serious it is.
Right. And that bumper sticker, is that going to be handed out at the Memorial Walk as well and Run, or can people obtain those?
Yeah, if anybody asks for them, we can supply.
Okay, all right, very good. Miss Ava, what can you share with us and our viewers? Just share a little bit about Raymond and Lindsey, please.
Raymond and Lindsey were good friends for quite a number of years. They were so much alike. I think that's why they got along so well. They loved to do things with their friends. You know, they were always having get-togethers. Lindsey would usually host the crawfish boils and invite anywhere from 20 to 30 people over because they had so many friends. And Raymond would usually bring the tents, tables, and chairs, and they would have a get-together at Lindsey's house mostly. And they did that quite often, and they just had so many friends. I mean, after the accident, the funeral home told us they stopped counting at over 3,000 people.
Wow.
That attended their funeral because, I mean, they were just so well liked by so many people. And actually, the day of the accident, one of Lindsey's friends actually asked me, you know, what were they going to do now? Because Lindsey was like the glue that kept them all together. You know, they had so many friends, and they just loved to have get-togethers and go out and, you know, not really go out to drink, you know, just go out to gather in one place with all of their friends. And I mean, when they did drink, you know, which wasn't that often, but when they did go out and drink, they always had a designated driver. No matter whether they were going to Thibodeau or New Orleans, you know, they always had a designated driver. Most of the time it was Lindsey's fiancée, Jessica, when she would go out with them. And this night that Lindsey and Raymond went, it was Raymond that night. And it's just sad that, you know, they were trying to do the right thing by having a designated driver, and the other guy just chose to get behind the wheel when he shouldn't have, and I just wish someone there would have stopped him.
Right, and that's certainly unfortunate. Like you said, they were following the rules as we all teach everybody to do, but somebody decided to make that decision to do something that we all know is the wrong decision. Which leads me to the next question with Mr. Mike. You know, nighttime, it's every parent's nightmare, obviously, what has happened to you guys, and I know it's an emotional issue as well. But at nighttime, when youngsters are out on the road, I guess the question is, you know, this isn't something that's just unique to your family. All youth are at risk at nighttime when they're on the road. Isn't that right?
Everybody in the country. I think most Americans work from 8 to 5, and their social lives kind of fit that schedule. They may go out in the evenings, but they're back home and ready for the next day's work, and not too much of high risk in the middle of the daytime encountering an impaired driver, but after midnight to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, your chances are just so much more. Not only intoxicated drivers, maybe fatigued people on the road for working late hours. It's just a lot more at risk at that time being on the road.
Yes, sir. Are there any other venues that you're aware of for young adults to gather, other than, let's say, like a drinking establishment, a bar, to where they can just hang out and be friends?
I think there's not. A lot of times they used to hang out at the bowling alley. They could bowl and kind of have their little group. Well, it was a rather large group of friends. And there's really not enough things here in the local area for that age group, from 18 to 25 or 30-year-olds. Just not a lot to do other than the bar rooms. And nowadays, when we grew up, our generation had maybe 4 or 5 close friends. Their generation, with the new social networks of Facebook and cell phones, they just have so many more friends, and they like to get together and they like to keep in touch with each other.
Right.
And there's just really not a good place here in town for people to do that.
Right, and so the important message, I guess, Alicia, to bring you in, is that, you know, if you do go to these establishments, make sure you at least have that designated driver, like Raymond and Lindsey were doing that night, so that what happened to them doesn't happen to somebody else.
Absolutely. We hope to raise awareness of the dangers of impaired driving and risky decisions. And what we believe is, by putting a face to our message, like Miss Ava said, so many people knew Raymond and Lindsey, and when you can attach a family to the dangers and realize the ripple effect, and these families still live with this daily, that it makes it real, and that these types of crashes don't just happen to other people. They happen daily to people you know. And we always try to encourage people to give their keys to someone else if they're going to be impaired for any reason. And I hope to demonstrate by doing the run walk this Saturday that you can have fun in a non-alcoholic environment. And we preach and promote that the kids are our future, and we want them to know that it's okay to say no to alcohol and drugs, and that's what we hope to promote, is a non-alcoholic family day.
And let's do this. Let's take a short break, and when we come back, we can talk more about the event itself and the run and walk and break down the details. We'll take a short break. When we come back, more about the Raymond Bourg Lindsey Fontenot Memorial Run and Walk coming up next on Bayou Time.